Hi and welcome back to Broadsheet Melbourne Around Town. I'm Broadsheet's editorial director Katja Buckle and the host of this 10-minute guide to Melbourne. If this is your first time here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss a video. Let's get to the menu here because that is, I think, such a draw card and readers absolutely loved this story.
Yeah.
And it's because you can get pancakes in this city. The pancakes are probably, for lack of a better word, a bit gourmet. These are just, give me a stack of pancakes drenched in maple syrup.
Yeah.
So talk us through the menu.
Yeah, sure. So like you said, there are pancakes and they're, nothing fancy. It's a pancake. It comes with whipped butter and maple syrup. And if you want to be really American and get into that kind of salty sweet thing, there's the really crisp bacon. So definitely American style bacon, which is really just, you can really cook it. It's not like the Canadian or British bacon that you tend to find more in Australian cafes.
Of course, you can get crispy bacon around Melbourne. But as you said, the American style lends itself to being cooked like that.
Yeah, it's made, I believe, with pork belly, so it's fattier and then it gets crisper. They also have omelets. They have that, classic white bread toasted with a sunny side up egg on it. Really solid drip coffee, see that in movies a lot. It's always fun to drink.
You're not going in there for a latte or an espresso. This is filter coffee only?
You can get a latte or an espresso, but if you want the full experience, I would recommend getting the drip coffee.
Now, outside the diner classics, now, of course, the owners, who are actually first-time operators, I believe, one of them has the best names ever. Tell us about the operators and basically where the idea came from.
Yeah. One of them is named Miles Davis. The other one is Jack. Miles Davis is his real name. So I feel like maybe Walrus was, written in the stars or something. And they were just inspired by trips that they'd both taken to the States over the years, especially the diners on the West Coast, less so the East Coast, to open Walrus. They felt like Melbourne maybe needed something that, kind of like what you were talking about with the pancakes, was a little bit less gourmet.
Yeah. So you've got the diner classics that you would find at a West Coast diner and a New York diner, a lot of different diners. But there's also some elements on the menu that are taken out of diners but still in US style dining institutions.
Ah, yes.
Yes. So talk us through, first let's do the New York style bodega sandwiches and then we will get finally to the Texas French toast, which sounds incredibly decadent and delicious.
So you lived in New York. Did you have a go-to bodega order?
No, to be honest, I was a bit of a bagel gal.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
I loved a bodega sandwich or a hoagie, but I was always like, well, the bagel shop's next door with the smoked salmon. So
it's true. Yeah. I don't like smoked salmon, so I was more of a bodega girly. But basically, and I didn't know this word before I moved to the States, but a bodega is almost like a milk bar. But a lot of the time they'll also have like a sandwich station. A kind of a classic order would be a bacon, egg, and cheese. So it's a roll filled with an egg that, looks like it is perfectly spherical a lot of the time. Whatever cheese you want, American cheese, Swiss cheese, and that crisp bacon. You can also get a sausage, egg, and cheese. And Walrus has those two items on the menu. You can get a vegetarian as well if you want. But yeah, classic kind of. I've had a big night. It's a little bit later in the day than I would like it to be, and I need a big coffee and a bacon, egg, and cheese.
Yeah, and I can't deal with anything that's got too many ingredients. Just give me the basics.
Yeah.
Let's finish up with my friend, the Texas French toast, which until the story on Broadsheet I didn't know was a thing. Can you just describe what makes French toast in Texas different to regular French toast?
Yeah, I didn't know it was a thing either. My research in editing the story is that, the adage, everything is bigger in Texas, is true. Like, it's essentially French toast, but the bread is just sliced a lot thicker than you would typically find.
There's also some lunch options. You've got your tuna salad sandwich, prime diner style lunch, the George Costanza favourite, the tuna from memory. And you've also got, a BLT. You've got a cheeseburger and fries.
Yeah.
So again, like just really like expected classics that any time of day, hangovers especially, but any time of day they'll work.
And I have to, just because I am who I am, mention that they also have different pies, and not the like Australian meat pies, they have sweet pies. I guess a lot of people are familiar with sweet pies because of pop culture, but they're almost like tarts with a crust on top. So at Walrus, they're going to have specials. So when we did the story, they had a cherry pie on offer. But yeah, just a solid kind of slice that you can eat, I say, any time of day, and extremely American.
Pecan pie, I think, was another thing that was on the menu.
Yeah.
But the cherry pie is very Twin Peaks. And there are elements, I think, in this space of a kind of Twin Peaks-esque diner. It's, again, there's like a little bit of a kind of, I don't know, it's just an elevated cinematic style of diner. You'll find Walrus at 312 Sydney Road in Brunswick. Thanks, Audrey.
Thanks.
That's all we've got time for today. As always, you can stay up to date at any time on broadsheet.com.au or on Instagram at broadsheet_Mel. See you again next time.